Alright, yo, what up? This is a response to Dead End Hip Hop's review of Kanye West's album Yeezus. Um, I respected the review. We're all entitled to our own opinions. I have my own opinion on the album, but that is not the focus of this video. Just a couple points that were made that I feel like were a little off kilter and really didn't make sense. First off, the album's name is Yeezus. So the album is supposed to be abrasive. It's supposed to be in your face. So I noticed we kept doing that you guys kept doing a Death Grips comparison. But I mean, you can't knock Kanye for being in your face and abrasive on Yeezus in the same way you can't knock Death Grips for being abrasive. That's what they're setting out to do. So, and in turn, that's a compliment to Kanye. On this album, he wanted to be in your face, he wanted to be abrasive, he wanted to be very in control. So saying that the album is very in your face, very abrasive, is a sort of compliment and a testament to what a great job he did on the music. One of the things that Mike said was interesting. He said he would never defend the album, but he enjoys it. And to me, that's a little weird. It almost seems like you don't, like you enjoy it, but you don't want to enjoy it, or I don't know. The one thing that really caught my ear was when I believe it was Kenj who said, like, what is he doing different? He said that this album wasn't really doing anything differently or pushing any boundaries. And I respectfully disagree. Sure, there are artists and bands who have taken things Kanye has done in this album and made their own effort to do it before Kanye did it, but that still doesn't mean that Kanye just didn't do anything different. I mean, you got songs where you have a soul sample among an EDM trap beat, which then transitions into an auto-tune vocalized harmony, which then crescendos into a Jamaican reggae-like, hook. And then that little rendition of that hook goes into some great slices and chops of a beat. And the song I'm talking about is Guilt Trip. And then the bridge of the song is sung in R&B like fashion. So you got EDM trap, you got reggae, you got R&B, you got auto-tune, you got rapping. All in under 4 minutes. I mean, if any other artists have done that, please point me in the direction of that album, because I would love to hear it. So I say Yeezus did push boundaries. He did do things differently. He combined a lot of different sounds. And no, he's not the first person to do that. But he combined a lot of different sounds in hip-hop and still rhymed over those beats. And at the same time, the structure of the songs is so unpredictable. The album literally kept me on that, like, just listening, ears to the computer screen the entire time, because I didn't know what he was going to do next. Is he going to come out with another reggae hook? I mean, is he going to go from techno to or a soul interpolation like he did on New Slaves? I mean, the album really did a lot of different things. Ken's referred to it as, and I quote, hip-hop EDM gumbo shit, unquote. And to me, that's what makes it beautiful. Gumbo is a mixture of a lot of different, foods, rice, sausages, crab, shrimp, etc., etc. And I feel like that's the perfect analogy for Yeezus. It's a lot of different sounds in one. And the fact that Mike can sit through the album and listen to the entire thing and enjoy it, that's what he said. And it's just a testament to what a great job was done. Ken said he had an emotional and a logical response to Yeezus. And I feel like one of the main points of Kanye putting out Yeezus in the fashion that he did was to invoke that emotional response out of listeners. So, to me, that is Kanye West succeeding. Another thing that really kind of bugged me was faulting Kanye for being hypocritical. This is something that all rappers do. I mean, are we going to fault Nas on It Was Written? In the very first bars of Nas Is Coming, off It Was Written, he's talking about shooting and killing the man. Let the streets be the corners.
Go to child, shot that ass up, you was holding out. Let the streets be the court and corners hold the trial.
And something like that. But, you know, 3 tracks later, he goes into Black Girl Lost, which is a conscious, self-aware song. So, I mean, all rappers do it. All the greats are hypocritical, in a sense. Everyone is hypocritical, in a sense. Pac, Biggie, Nas, they all have different parallels and to their music. You know, Pac once said that an irresponsible rapper is a rapper who talks about, you know, the violence, you know, the glorification of certain things, but doesn't talk about the flip side, the agony, the shame, etc. So I don't say you can fault Kanye for talking about the rich, the glam, all that on one song, and on another song he's talking about he decides to be conscious. To me, that just doesn't make sense. And this is something that Kanye has done his entire career. He's always kind of been like a dichotomy of himself. There's been 2 parts of him. So, I mean, even on the College Dropout, you got the song Get 'Em High with Kam and Talib Kweli, where Kanye is using his connect with Talib Kweli to get a girl in bed. That was the song. That was the point of the song. And then, you know, of course he has songs like All Falls Down and Through the Wire on there. So, I mean, if we're not faulting Kanye for doing that earlier all throughout his career, especially earlier in his career, or we're not faulting the legends for doing it as well, I don't see why we decide to do it now on this album. And to me, that's just point blank just trying to target Kanye. Maybe because you don't like the music as much as you did before. But that is not a valid or a solid or good, it's not a good quality argument at all, or criticism at all. There's nothing wrong with rappers and their music being hypocritical, in my opinion, because that's the nature of humans. And if you're going to rap about one side, you should also rap about the other. And it shows you have a range. It shows you have, I mean, you can talk about a multitude of concepts. And I think everyone in the review noted New Slaves was one of their favorite songs, so, I mean, that's, you know. The Death Grips comparison also is something that was brought up constantly. And while I agree that he probably did get a lot of influence from that genre, I disagree that he jumped on a bandwagon. There are some similarities that I hear in the music, no doubt. Death Grips, past couple albums, and his Yeezus album. But none large enough for me to say that Kanye carbon copied, threw it on Yeezus. If you really dug into the music sonically, you can create other arguments. The only real argument that you can really make, but the only real argument you can make off top is their intentional abrasiveness. And even then, they're abrasive in different ways. They're doing 2 different takes on that. I mean, they're coming from 2 different places. So the Death Grips comparison seems kind of forced to try to compare someone who does something different in Death Grips and has been doing it their entire career, and someone who's new to doing something extremely different, who decided to go into that sound. So, and one of the points that were made to defend the Death Grips argument was saying that they're just trying to they both combine different sounds, but that's nothing new. Now, DJ Shadow did that way back in '96 with his album Introducing. He had an album composed of all samples, I mean, from different genres. So, I mean, if you want to go there, we can take it all the way back. And even with DJ Shadow, we can keep going back. So, to me, it's not really a viable comparison to just single out Death Grips or, you know, a couple industrial acts and saying Kanye just jumped on the bandwagon with it, or that he just had to have heard Death Grips and just wanted to do that. I mean, look at the executive producers on the album. I mean, he has the myriad of producers. He has guys like Daft Punk that are in the electronic scene. And for crying out loud, Jack Donahue of Salem, they're an industrial kind of acid band, was an executive producer on the album. So it's not like Kanye just tried to take the sound and hide it from himself and like, oh yeah, like this is what I'm doing now. Like producers are credited who work in that genre and have been in that genre for a while now, longer than Death Grips, that and have worked on the album. So it's no, I mean, I don't think he's trying to hide the fact that he's trying to pull different sounds in. And yeah, I agree that he's trying to be different, and that's not even an issue for me. My main concern with that album was, okay, yeah, he's trying to be different. Is he successful in doing so? And the fact that people were able to sit through this album and enjoy it tells me that he was successful in it. Throughout the review, it was just heavily impressed that, yo, he's trying to rip off these artists. It's comical to me. As reviewers, you should see that all artists draw influences. When artists want influences, they go to museums, they read books, they listen to other music. I don't think we'd call anyone a straight carbon copy other than Kanye. Another thing that was said about the album, which just leads me to believe that, as Spanish as it may sound, that you just didn't get it, was everything about the album says, look at me. Of course, that was the point of the album. The album's title is Yeezus. To debut the single, he put it on 66 building on projections across the world. That was the point. After listening to the album and the production and the lyrics and the back story on the album, if you're gonna fault the album and say that everything just seems like he's trying to get attention, that's what he was trying to do. So if he was trying to do that, is it really a criticism? I feel like this release was just so far from what a lot of people wanted, or what a lot of hip-hop purists wanted, that they're just trying to pinpoint everything they can. And just to go back to the point that interested me the most in the review, you will never defend the album, but you enjoy it. But you have all these criticisms, but you enjoy it. You don't think it's, I mean, you would never, if anybody argues against it, it's nothing, but you enjoy it. To me, that is a success. That's all I have to say about that. Again, I enjoy the review. I obviously watch you guys' reviews. You know, to have seen this and I've responded the next day. You did a great job. Just a few things I thought could have been touched up here and there. Thank you.
Come on, homie, we major. We major? Come on, homie, we major. We major. Come on, homie, we